Okay, it's that time of the month again where I decide randomly what I'm going to watch for the month. So in May, I picked rewatch a show you've seen, which was Bridgerton, watch an anime, which is Fruit Baskets, and watch a show recommended or picked by a friend or family, and that was X-Files. So X-Files was over the 5 seasons, so I'm going to continue to watch that for the month of June, and hopefully I can finish that because that was in some double-digit seasons. But I did finish Bridgerton, and Fruit Baskets, I'm on the 2nd season, and I'm over halfway, so I'm going to finish that before the end of the month as well. So those two are good. Out of the 2 I did watch, because I'm not going to rate X-Files because I have not seen it yet, Bridgerton is definitely my number 1, and then Fruit Baskets would be after that. I still love Bridgerton. That's a reason I decided to rewatch it, because I loved it so much. So that definitely is the top show of the month of May that I watched.
Okay. I would say I had a pretty good watching month in the month of May, so I'm excited to see what I'm going to get for June. So let's see what I'll be watching for my June watch list. Let's give it a little shake. Okay, first pick is watch a show from my Netflix list. Perfect.
Okay, so for watch a show from my Netflix list, I chose The Good Place. I have a lot of shows currently on my Netflix list that I started but never finished once a new season came on, so I kind of want to get rid of some of those and off my list and watch more of those. So The Good Place, I've watched up to season 3, and I believe there's a total of 4 seasons, so I only have one more season to watch, so I thought this would be a good one to knock off my Netflix list. So for The Good Place, this one is a comedy, and I haven't really been watching a lot of comedies lately, so I thought this would be a good one to add on there. I don't know if I mentioned what it was about, so I'm going to read the description. When Eleanor Shellstrop finds herself in the afterlife, she's both relieved and surprised that she made it into the good place. But it doesn't take long for Eleanor to realize she's there by mistake. She hides in plain sight from the good place's architect, Michael, and his all-knowing assistant, Janet. Her seemingly perfect neighbors, Tahini and Jason, and open-hearted soulmate, Chidi, help her realize that it's never too late to change. With the help of her new friends and a few enemies, Eleanor becomes determined to shed her old way of life in hopes of discovering a new one in the afterlife. So yeah, sounds like a great show.
Oh, I think that's 2. Let's drop that one. Watch a show based on a book or books.
So for my next pick, watch a show based on a book or books. So that's something I recently wanted to do, and the show I decided to choose was Tiny Pretty Things. This was a show I have been not dying to watch, but get on my watch list recently, because I've had multiple people tell me to watch it because it is terrible, basically. And I was like, what? It looks so good. But all the reviews I have seen about it saying that it was not a great show. So I'm interested to see if what people have said match up to what I think of the show. Because if, sometimes when you're expecting something to be good and you go in and it's not as good as you think, you might think less. And so now that I'm expecting it to be bad, I might go in thinking it's better than what I thought. So that might skew my rating a bit when I watch it, but we'll see. I'm trying to go in there open-minded. I'm like, okay, let's see how good or bad or like what this show is really about. But for the description of the show, after an attack brings down the star student at a ballet school, her replacement enters a world of lies, betrayal, and cutthroat competition. So that does sound really good. It's a ballet show. Tiny Pretty Things, definitely, when I heard of it reminded me of Pretty Little Liars, and it might have the same type of concept. I'm not sure. I don't really know too much about the show. But yeah, so now I'm going to finally watch it for the month of June. Let people who recommended it to me, let them know what I thought about it. I did hear that it was based on a book, and it's actually 2 different books. I think Tiny Pretty Things is the first one, and there's another one after. So I'm going to try and read both the books after I watch the show, like I had done for the Bridgerton book for the first season. Like, how I read that after I watched the first season, and I will link that one below if you guys want to go check it out. So I was trying to do that for this one. I was trying to read both books. I hope I can get through both of them because I'm not sure how it will compare to the TV show. So if I do not like the book or the first one I don't want to finish, I might not go to the second one. We will see. But yeah, anytime I get the prompt watch a show based on a book or books, I'm definitely going to try to read the book as well after I watch the TV show, compare them like I had done for the Bridgerton book. So hopefully that will come, probably not this month, but that review and probably book versus TV show might come in July, August, later in the year when I have time to read the book as well.
And the last pick is watch an action show.
I picked watch an action show, and I gotta say, I don't watch a lot of action shows. I feel like I know more action movies than shows, so trying to figure that out. But I went on Netflix and I went into TV shows, and I clicked the genre action, and out of the ones that came up and were considered action, those are the ones I chose because I felt like and this was on my list, my Netflix list, but I felt like I didn't really know a lot of shows that were action, and I haven't watched a lot of the shows on my Netflix list yet, hence why they're on my list. So I don't know how much action's in each of them. But one that caught my eye, and this has been on my list, I believe, for a little while now, the Tribes of Europa. Okay, post-apocalyptic world. So in 2070, 3 siblings set out to change the fate of Europe after a global catastrophe fractures it into countless microstates fighting for dominance. Okay. Oh, so maybe this wasn't on my list for a while because the first episode just came out February and it's June. Okay, so maybe it hasn't been out for super duper long. Once I read the description, I was like, oh, I really want to see this. So that's on my list as well. And I believe all of these shows that I picked only have 1 season. The Good Place has 4 seasons, but I'm only going to watch the 4th season because I watched the other 3 seasons, and I'm probably going to review the 4th season and the total of the show and what I thought about it. Okay, so those are the 3 shows that I'll be watching for the month of June. So just to recap, first one, watch a show on my Netflix list, and for that I chose A Good Place. Watch a show based on a book or books. That one I chose Tiny Pretty Things. And last one, watch an action show, and for that one, Tribes of Europa. And June is basically kind of like the halfway point of the year, so I'm just kind of gonna state some why I'm doing this. So I will link my first video, which explains all my categories, or like prompts if you want to call them, for each month, and like kind of for what picks I have for each of them. So I will link my video below on the first watch list that I have done, and that will explain all the kind of prompts and categories I have for picking what show I would be watching for the month, and it kind of explains the rules as well. But just like a refresher, since it's like the middle of the year, the reason I'm doing this is because I found that when I watch TV, I kind of just go through Netflix and like, oh, this looks interesting, and then I won't watch what's actually on my Netflix list. So I decided to try to knock off things that are on my Netflix list and try to pick more shows from that. Does that always happen? No. I do have prompts that are like, oh, watch a show from Hulu, or watch a show from this streaming service. So I can't always pick a show from my list. I have certain genre-based prompts as well, and sometimes those aren't on my list, so I will need to go to another streaming service or watch a different type of show that's not on my Netflix list. So yeah, so it's not always 100% going to be from my Netflix list, but I do try best as I can to knock off the shows that I have on there that have been saved on there for a long time. I'm like, okay, I was interested in this once, let me watch it and see what I think. So that's the whole point of this. The reason I started doing this and where I got this inspiration, this idea from, is actually from BookTube. So I want to give shout out to them. I did mention a bunch of booktubers that I watched their games for what they read for the month in my first watch list video, if you want to go check that one out, and I list a bunch. But yeah, I originally got this from BookTube, and a lot of people have TBR games that they do, so they have games where they pick different books to read for the month, and I love watching those videos. And sometimes they're not always the books they want to read that month, but they like put them on there. Okay, like they try to get through it. Sometimes they have rewards for reading on the books, or they have punishments. I do not have any punishments for me, but I don't really have punishments. I'm just like, you know, I just want to try to watch more TV on my list and not constantly pick up a new show that's just came out all the time. So that's the point of this. But yeah, I originally got this from BookTube and all their TBR games, and I thought they were really interesting, really creative, and I'm like, that'd be something cool to put towards how I pick my TV shows. And so I tried it out and I really liked it, so I decided to film it. So yeah, that's why I do the watch list every month. Don't know how long I'll do it for, you know. Maybe one day I'll get tired of it, and so I'll just stop. I did take a break for the month of April, I believe, because I wasn't really in the mood to pick shows. I just wanted to watch what I want to watch. So every once in a while I might take a break from it, might not do it every single month, and that's completely fine. I did this for me to watch more different kind of shows. If I'm in a different type of mood to watch something else that might take me a little bit longer, then I won't watch it for that month, and that's completely fine. But yeah, every show that I do pick from a watch list, I will try to make a review of it on here. So anything that's extra you don't see me pick out of this, I most likely will not do a video on it. There are exceptions. There are a couple shows on that I reviewed that were not on my watch list, nothing that I picked out randomly just because I wanted to do them and I was really passionate and I really loved them. I'm like, let me just tell the world how much I love them. So yeah, there's a couple. I know one was Shadow and Bone. I didn't pick that out, but I heard a lot of people talking about it, so I wanted to watch it. And Black and White Love, that's a Turkish drama I saw and I absolutely loved it. So that's one I decided to kind of review on here as well. So yeah, most of the content will be reviews from my watch list, but every once in a while I'll throw one in there that I didn't pick from my watch list that I just wanted to review and put on here. But yeah, so just wanted to give like a refresher on the watch list and kind of where the inspiration, and give the credit to where credit is due to the BookTube community. Also, if you want to see the booktubers I mentioned, definitely check out that video and go out, check out all their channels. They're so amazing, so creative. And if you want to see all the rules and all the type of prompts, definitely go look on that first video. I explain everything in there. Definitely let me know what you guys will be watching for the month of June, if you happen to know already, or what you want to watch for the month of June. Or you can let us know what you watched for the month of May and what was rated highest, what was the best show you watched for the month of May. Definitely put that below, maybe some recommendations for people as well. Thanks for listening. Again, as always, thanks so much. And until next time, bye.